Hey guys, what's going on? Paul here and welcome back to another Cardano video. If you're new, make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so you never miss an update. What I do here is 100% Cardano content. Also, a very big welcome to all of the new subscribers. The channel has really been blowing up lately, and thank you all very much to everyone who shares these videos, leaves a comment, leaves a like. It really does help. So the topic on today's video is looking back at the price of ADA Cardano during 2020, how it all went, what impacted the price, as when we look back there we can see for the future where we are going to go. So first up, we're going to take a look back at 2020 price action. I'll talk through some of the events and what they actually done to the price, why they done that, and then that is going to help us look forward to 2021 and what we are going to expect, and I will give some of the targets that I am personally expecting. Then we'll wrap it all up by looking at the short term, what to expect over the coming days and the next few weeks. So let's jump straight in. Okay, so I'll look back at 2020. So I'm going to take you through some of the figures first, and then we will jump over to the charts. I am getting a lot more active on Twitter and within the Telegram group that I've set up. So if you are interested in more daily updates or stuff like that, or interacting with questions, make sure you join both of them. And the Telegram group, which is set up for my pool, you are more than welcome in there, even if you're not delegating to my pool. But if you're looking for a pool to delegate your ADA to, then please do consider my own, as it really does help support my channel. Look back at 2020. So the year opened at 455 sats. It closed at 597 sats to give us a growth against Bitcoin of 31.21%. Anyone familiar with my channel will know that I generally look at the ADA Bitcoin price first and give it a lot more weighting, because when you look at the USD price, then that is heavily influenced by where Bitcoin goes, because right now every asset is correlated to Bitcoin, and where Bitcoin goes, it will lead the rest of the cryptocurrency market. I do feel that over the next few years we will be able to decouple from Bitcoin and be able to establish our own USD price, but for now we need to be looking at gains against Bitcoin rather than gains against the US dollar. So looking at the ADA USD price, then we opened the year at just over 3 cents, closed at just over 18 cents to give us a huge growth of 453% against the US dollar. So on the ADA Bitcoin price, if you had 1 Bitcoin at the start of the year, you put it all into ADA and sold at the end of the year, you would have turned your 1 Bitcoin into 1.31 Bitcoin. Not a bad growth at all. And you consider the growth that Bitcoin had against the US dollar, then you start to see what can happen when you pick the right coins that have real value to grow against the Bitcoin price. So let's take a look at this over on the charts. Okay, so what you see here is a split chart. So on the top, I have the ADA Bitcoin price on the daily. Each candle represents 1 day. And then on the bottom, we have the ADA USD price. Again, candles representing 1 day. A candle is these little red and green markers here for anyone that's completely new to charts. Again, you can see we opened the year here. The white line on the bottom is where we opened, and on top is where we closed. So again, March timeframe is looking a little bit low. That is because of everything that happened in the world. We had the market crash, but cryptocurrency really recovered a lot quicker than everything else. So we look here, we were coming up, then we had the crash, and then we were coming along. And as you can see here, we started to really gain some traction against the Bitcoin price. And a lot of this was down to the Shelley release. So the expectation of what Shelley was going to do, it was going to bring the start of decentralization to Cardano and really open up the infrastructure. You can see we had some huge growth against it, and then when the release of Shelley happened, we started to come down. Now, this isn't a bad thing. This is generally what happens in markets. You will have, if you're in the markets a while, you will have heard, buy the rumor, sell the news. So that is buy up to an event happening and then sell off. That is what speculators do. People like myself who are in it for the long term, we just buy and then you wait, and then if you come back down here, if you get dips, these are chances to buy more. Generally what happens is you come down and then you will get a stage like this of accumulation before going back up. But what happened here was Bitcoin started to go a bit parabolic at this stage. This was mid-October. Bitcoin was $10,000, $11,000, $12,000. And you can see we started to go down against the Bitcoin price here as Bitcoin was really starting to take off, because Bitcoin went from the 10,000 level right up to $30,000 in a very short space of time. So you can see on the bottom, against the US dollar, we were generally going up most of the year. Where here we had our spikes up and down against the Bitcoin price. Right now, again, we are starting to see that turning around, and I will talk about that when I get to the current market at the end. So now let's look at what can we expect going forward. So there's one thing that we need to look at first. So this is the market zoomed in here just on the ADA Bitcoin price. So what we're looking at here is this part here is the growth that we've seen for Shelly. And the reason that I'm still looking back is because I use this as a projection for what is to come in 2021. So you can see right here, we went from all the way down here up to the tip here was a 240% increase in the ADA versus Bitcoin price. Huge growth, and that was for Shelly. What we have coming this year, to me, is a lot bigger. Shelly was the start. Gougen is coming now. By the end of March, we should be fully decentralized, which is a huge step for the ecosystem. And then we will have the smart contracts, dApps. What that does is that opens up the Cardano ecosystem to anybody who wants to build on it. You can build anything you can build on Ethereum or any other smart contract platform. You will be able to build on Cardano. We also have the ERC20 converter, which means that anyone who has built something on an ERC20 token can convert that over to Cardano. We see a lot of issues right now with Ethereum fees, so I do anticipate some projects coming over. Once the first projects come over, and if things go really well with them, we can start to see some huge growth and some huge interest within the Cardano ecosystem. We've seen how well Shelly went when it was launched. Yes, it took a while to come out, but once it did, it went very, very smoothly. So I am expecting the same with Gougen. And when the market outside of, look, everyone within the Cardano ecosystem has huge belief in where it's going. Outside, there's a bit of skepticism because things take a little bit longer. But what we do is we build everything out before we launch it. Where other platforms, they will launch stuff and then try and fix it as it's in the market. Cardano does a lot of the work before they launch, and then they don't have as many fixes when it actually comes out. So one other thing you can see here, it was 238% growth, and that was the equivalent of 1,124 sats. So just remember them figures for a second. If I bring this over then to here, and we look at the opening price of 590, doesn't want to sit on a 596, it won't sit on 597 for me. But let's have a look at what that actually means. If we got that type of growth again, and again, as I say, Gougen has a lot more to it and will bring a lot more interest. But let's be realistic on this. And let's say we got something in around the same growth. Rather than looking at what potential huge growth could be there, this could go a lot higher. It mightn't go this high. But this is where I'm expecting. For me, putting this in is the realistic expectation for myself. So when I come in here, you can see that 1,124 sats on top of the opening price would bring us up to around the 1,700 sats level. Again, I'll show you what all of this means in terms of price in USD in a second. I have that on my slides already. So if we bring this up then to the 237, 38, we'll have to go a bit bigger here. 237 would bring us up to just over 2,000 sats. Again, that's if we done another 238% with the launch of Gougen from the opening price in the year. Is that possible? It's definitely a possibility in my mind. If Gougen comes out and runs as smoothly as we all expect, then I do think that that is very achievable. So let's just take a quick look at what that actually means in terms of gains and some realistic numbers on that. So what to expect in 2020? If we open the year at 597 sats, which we have, and if we closed at 1,700, that could give us an increase in price of 184%. Now, in USD terms, which a lot of people like to look at, then opening at the 18 cent, closing at the $1.02. So again, my target for this year is around that $1 ADA. I definitely think that's achievable. Again, that would look at a 460% increase in the dollar value of ADA. How do we get that in terms of Bitcoin then? Because as I said, Bitcoin has a huge impact on the USD price. Well, to achieve that, the Bitcoin price that we would need would be a 60k Bitcoin. Again, to me, a 60k Bitcoin is very, very achievable. When you look at the broader market and what's going on within cryptocurrency, the people that are running into cryptocurrency right now, 60k to me is on the conservative side of what is possible. That's what I'm looking for here. If you look at, so we're saying, or I'm saying, a 1700 sats ADA this year. So if you start to look at a 2000 sats, then that would be a $1.20 ADA. If you start looking at the all-time high of ADA in terms of Bitcoin, we were up at the 8,000 sats level. Again, we are so far off that right now, and I'm not going to say it's going to happen in terms of sats. If you did, that's up at a $4 ADA. That is definitely not something I'm expecting this year. If we achieve a $1 ADA this year, then I think this will be an extremely successful year, and it would leave everybody very happy. Either way, I'm going to continue hodling, continue staking, and that is my own plan. So let's take a quick look at the shorter term then. Okay, so you can see here we're looking at the 4-hour chart for ADA Bitcoin. Anyone who's seen my Twitter this morning will have seen this chart already. I just have taken the trampoline and the rocket out of it. Anyone who's seen the tweet will know what that's about. Down here, you can see we've been in a downtrend. Since the 28th of November, against the Bitcoin price, ADA has been in a downtrend. And that is all to do with the parabolic moves of Bitcoin. It's been moving so hard, people have been going into Bitcoin rather than staying in some of the other coins. We have broke that early morning. So overnight, we had a great run in Bitcoin. And now what we are looking for is to hold above this downtrend line. So my personal targets are to hold around here, which would be above the 650 sats level, holding above that now, getting a bit of support, and then going up to break the 725 level. You can see I drew this line a long time ago, but it has held fairly true here. We're coming down, tried to get back up, and then it was turned into resistance. Here, it's been resistance. So getting above this, again, holding above this is very positive for the ADA price. That's what I will be looking for in the next few days. If we can do that, then we can make a march for the 982 sats level again, which has held very strong since September last year. That is where I'm looking short term. In terms of the USD price, again, some people are looking to buy in with USD and buy in at what is a good price to buy into Cardano. It's hard to tell at the minute. Bitcoin is really due a pullback. We had a 20% pullback in Bitcoin this morning, and it's already back up in that. And overall in the day, we are not down that much at all. Any dips that are happening very quick. A good strategy is a dollar cost average strategy. So dollar cost average is where you break up the money you want to put in. So say you want to put in $1,000. You would put in 50% of that. So you put in $500, you buy at the current market price. You then split the other $500 into, say, 250 and 250. You set your buys lower than the current price. So if the market drops, then it'll buy at the lower price. That averages down your buy price. And once again, you set your other 250 lower again to bring down your buy price even more. With this type of strategy, if the market takes off from the current price, at least you've got half in. If the market continues to fall down, then you are getting a lower buy price at that stage. So look, that's it for today, guys. I really hope this has been of some value for you. It went a bit longer than I planned, but hopefully you guys can get value from it, and timestamps below will help people navigate through it as well. If you got some value, please do give it a share, give it a like. Let me know your thoughts down below. What's your own personal targets? And as always, like, subscribe. If you're looking to delegate, please do consider my own pool, Paul, and join the Telegram group and Twitter down below. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you soon.